Yeah, the revolution, y'all. Yep, the revolution.
The revolution, y'all, will not be televised.
Yeah, you gotta wake up, open your eyes,
Make a change in your life,
and find a new way of living.
It's time to start living for the children.
Everybody look into my life, tell me what you see. The perseverance of a young man sitting is so free. LA Mac, be the champ, but still fighting the struggle. They couldn't shut my mouth with a muzzle. I'm hard to figure like a puzzle. My name ought to be Jigsaw, rough around the edges. I've been known to spit raw, always with a pen and a book. I'm kinda thin and I look real suspicious like a one-eyed crook. Same loco as the city I claim, not in a game, but I'm bang. Don't try me, I ain't new to this thing. Consequences and repercussions for pissing me off. I ain't mad, I'm just trying to pay the rent on this loft. Short arms and short pockets, I be pulling out lit, so understand why I'm trying to get bent. We all about that hippie hoppy, don't stop me all the way live. Writing more issues than vibe when my mind televised. The revolution, y'all, will not be televised. You gotta wake up, open your eyes, make a change. We just wanna have a good time.
Hey yo,
Wanna have a good time.
Nitro.
We just wanna have a good time. Oh yeah, no time for the drama. Come on. Hey, hey, we just wanna have a good time. Good time. We just wanna have a good time. Good time. We just wanna have a good time. Good time. No time for the drama. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands up. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands up. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands. I just wanna have a good time. They calling me JJ, cause I got the mic posted up with the DJ. Please no requests, I'm repeating what he say. We got it under control, it's cool like Cool J. Now when the needle drop and the record spin, give me a scratch to let me know where the song begin. His shoulder hold the headphone with one ear so he can hear the monitor and mix the record real clear. It's okay, I said it's okay, cause I'm with the DJ. I'm with the DJ. It's okay, I said it's okay, cause I'm with the DJ. I'm with the DJ. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands up. Everybody in the place, they was throwing their hands. Everybody in the place, they was...
Well, hello folks, happy Friday. This is Andy from G Meta 1, and with slight difference in the call. Sorry guys, those of you who are regulars on Facebook, on YouTube and on Twitter. Miguel unfortunately cannot be with us today, so we were going to be doing our normal Party Friday call with some giveaways and stuff like that. So sorry, that will now, the giveaways will now happen on Monday. Okay, so what we're doing in its place is a repeat of a call I did about 2 weeks ago, which was why the metaverse is inevitable. And that's not my opinion, but it's based on an article that I actually put together for an American college admissions magazine, and it featured in the last issue of that. So for the first time, I'm actually doing this also on LinkedIn, because some of the times, you know, our calls are very lighthearted and probably wouldn't be appropriate for LinkedIn audience, but it really gives you, hopefully the people on LinkedIn will give you an idea of what we do and an idea of how much we are living this whole concept, and you know why we genuinely believe it is inevitable. So I'm going to go through a presentation. I put the article into a presentable format, and I'm going to run through that. And hopefully, those of you who are skeptical about the metaverse, those are the people we need to talk to about Web 3.0, or people who don't know at all about Web 3.0, and maybe think metaverse is something Mark Zuckerberg dreamt up or something like that, because couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, so guys, without further ado, I'm going to take you through, ladies and gentlemen, this article, this presentation that I did, and hopefully we'll be joined by Sylvie later in the call. She is Miguel's beautiful other half, and she'll be joining us from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. So hopefully we'll get her later on in this call. But first of all, I'm going to do the presentation. So guys, hopefully just sit back, relax, and I'll take you through this for the next 20 minutes. I'm not going to read it verbatim. You'll be very pleased to hear. But this is the presentation. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, so it's entitled Why the Metaverse is Inevitable. Now, that's actually my avatar in Decentraland, believe it or not, you're seeing on the front cover there. That is our 4-story headquarters you'll see in the background there in Decentraland, which is one of the digital universes, as we call them. And as you can see, we've got some very salubrious new neighbours because we're in such a good location. UPS have decided to move in right next door, and I will make reference to that in the presentation. But let's look at why I personally believe, and we at GMeta1 and an awful lot of other people genuinely believe, that the metaverse is inevitable. So many people, including some misguided members of the popular press, guys, this is the problem that we're getting out there. We're seeing the press reporting the metaverse as purely meta, Horizon Worlds as devised by Mark Zuckerberg and Meta. But that is not the case. Now, but because of the popular press, many people thought that 2022 would be the breakthrough year for the metaverse. This is just crazy. But anyway, this was mainly based on the hype that was created by the rebranding of Facebook and its related brands as Meta in the fall of 2021 and the subsequent release of Horizon Worlds, Meta's digital universe. Now, we all know the media loves bad news, and it's certainly reveled in the abject failure of Mark Zuckerberg's vision of the metaverse so far. Whilst Meta's pivot into Web 3.0 has brought a lot of awareness to the metaverse, it's also been responsible for leading the uninitiated into believing that whatever happens with Meta will dictate the success or failure of the metaverse. Now, whilst Meta's huge global audience will ultimately guarantee the success of their project, I have no doubt, the metaverse has been and will continue to be driven by other factors, which I believe make its future adoption and ascendancy inevitable. So there are 3 that I'm going to take into consideration in this presentation. There are many more, but I'm dwelling on 3. Number 1, industry is driving the metaverse. Various industries have already embraced what this new technology can deliver, from unique marketing experiences to much more advanced innovations. Based on end use, the global market is segmented into gaming, media, entertainment, education, travel, tourism, real estate, healthcare. It goes on, hospitality, retail, banking, financial services, insurance, and others. Here's an example. This is just, I've used a couple of examples in this presentation, hopefully to tweak your imagination, hopefully to open your minds to what's going on. For example, Celebrity Cruises recently unveiled their own microverse experience, the Wonderverse, which is a copy of one of their existing cruise vessels. This offers you, the consumer, the chance to board the ship, check out all of the facilities, explore all of the different cabins to actual scale. So not looking at a video where you can't really get an idea of perspectives, of dimensions in relation to a human being. And then, also you can interact with the crew, captain, and even sometimes the CEO himself will show up there. Now, for the potential customer, The advantages over watching videos or a mere virtual tour are huge. And for celebrity cruises, that's going to make their customers' buying decisions much easier and increase the opportunities to upsell trips and cabin upgrades. So people will go, rather than have somebody having to explain why they want a stateroom cabin with a balcony, they can go and see one before they even board the ship, and then they'll understand that themselves. Now, here's another one. This is a much more technical level. NVIDIA, the software and hardware firm, recently announced that it has the technology to test and develop cars in the entirely digital world that is the metaverse. These guys are working with Volvo right now. Now, in an interview with BBC Top Gear magazine, Danny Shapiro, its vice president of automotive, described how they are taking the test process away from the crash test dummy scenario with a prototype, with a prototype, and what they're doing is utilizing their omniverse, as they call it, to test vehicles' performance and reactions in various conditions and driving situations. Now, this is what Danny said. If we need to test, is this car going to detect a child running in front of the car in the middle of the night? Well, we're not going to take a child at night and put them in front of the car. But using this 3D simulated digital twin, we can recreate situations that are far too dangerous to test in the real world and generate the sensor data covered the car. Now, this is the bit that blew my mind. He goes on to say the computer doesn't know it's not actually in a car driving. It thinks it's on the road. It's getting signals saying, there's the lanes, there's other cars, there's the street lights. So the car doesn't, the car management computer doesn't care whether it's on a real road or it's in a metaverse environment. It works the same. Now, we can test millions and millions of scenarios in different weather, he said, at different times of the day, and ensure that the vehicle's safe for going on the road. Now, that blew my mind. And this is just two examples of hundreds and hundreds of scenarios that are happening. Sometimes they hit the press, sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter. The industry is driving the metaverse already. Whether you believe in it or not, it's happening. Now, here's another bit. The innovative use of metaverse technology, VR and augmented reality, is allowing our architects to experience the feel and scale of their creations. It's also permitting surgeons to practice complex procedures over and over, and even US Air Force pilots to safely train for various combat scenarios. These are happening already. Now, number two, another reason why I think it's inevitable, brands, big juggernaut brands are already entrenched in the metaverse. The juggernaut brands in every sector of business are already well established in one or more virtual worlds. Many were early adopters, but already a keeping up with the Joneses phenomenon is ensuring that brand rivals are setting up shop daily. For example, no sooner had MasterCard filed for patents covering NFTs in the metaverse than American Express and then more recently Visa followed suit. Fear of missing out. Decentraland is one such digital universe and has seen an influx of massive brands moving in from the corporate sector to most of the main fashion houses after successfully establishing Metaverse Fashion Week there in March 2022. Fashion houses, literally all of them, are represented in one or more metaverse environments. You saw 2 or 3 going in, and then the rest just ran, sprinted to set up in the metaverse after that. In a recent interview with Decrypt online magazine, Decentraland's creative director Sam Hamilton addressed the negative publicity spilling over from Meta's struggles with its vision of the metaverse. See, this is very positive for people like ourselves, because this is people in who were doing this long before Mark Zuckerberg got a hold of it, and saying their piece essentially. The eyes of the world came on us too soon, he said. Honestly, we probably would have liked to have had another couple of years to improve the products before we got to that stage of exposure. But it is what it is. If you projected the metaverse onto a cinema, we're still in the days of silent movies, he said. We've got so many decades of innovation and invention ahead of us until we get to blockbusters like Star Wars. That's exactly accurate. We are in the infancy, but unfortunately, because Facebook and Meta brought all the publicity, now people are judging it on what it is rather than what it can be. This was one reason why GMeta One, that's us, established our headquarters in Decentraland early in 2022, and we've recently been vindicated by the arrival of our new next door neighbour, none other than UPS. Now, finally, number 3, your kids have got this, says the headline. And that could not be more accurate. The gaming sector has demonstrated the appetite for immersive entertainment experiences, and as a result, Generation Z are already all too familiar with the concept of creating personalized avatars, building in virtual environments, and purchasing wearables and equipment using a virtual currency native to the platform. They're doing it already and have been for years. This has led to brands like Forever 21, Gucci, Ralph Lauren, Vans, Kellogg's, and Nike setting up gaming experiences in Roblox, for example. There's Nike in Nike Land in Roblox right there on the image. If you think about the way music and movies are consumed today compared to 10 years ago, now think about this. Think about it. Not that long ago, Blockbuster were the number one name in video rentals. Where are they now? You know, think about how we used to buy music. We used to go to a store and buy a CD. All of that is gone. You can only imagine how this technology, Web 3.0 and the metaverse, will evolve in the coming years in the hands of this generation and beyond. We at GMeta One are very excited for the coming years and seeing Leviathan companies and huge brands following us into the metaverse. Seeing Leviathan companies and huge brands following us into the metaverse merely serves to reinforce and confirm our conviction that the metaverse is inevitable. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me just get back to, as we say, the studio. Okay, folks. Yeah, so, I mean, for those of you who don't know a lot about, the metaverse and, what it's delivering, where we're at right now, before I introduce you to Sylvie, where we're at right now, you think about it in terms of Web 2.0. Now, Web 2.0 was, when people started to access the internet on a phone, people started to use things like social media. And social media, even back then when it started, was, all about things like Bebo, MySpace. Remember them? Yeah, well, some of us do. Some of us are old enough to remember them, but they're not there now. And when we're accessing on phones, again, we were probably doing it on a BlackBerry. Where are they now? Now there's lots of social media platforms out there, things like Twitter, things like YouTube, things like Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. I'm not so sure they're all that untouchable that in 10 years' time, we won't be using something else. There'll be a version of those in the metaverse. Now, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg's trying to make sure he's that go-to source. But you think about the way Google came along. Web 1.0 was just joining the internet. We used to jump on using things like Lycos and Alta Vista. Those were the two search engines we used to use back in the day. Then Google came along and they tied it all together and they made it all work, and interoperability became a thing. And that's what we need. That's where the metaverse needs to go. And how that all works together is going to be the key to how quickly. But I think year 2023, we're going to get people now. The word is out. The word is out now. There's a lot of skepticism. There always is, but that skepticism is mainly based on this misconception. There's two misconceptions. One, that it's all about Meta and all that negative publicity that Meta's brought, and number two, that you need a VR headset. The number of articles out there that talk about the metaverse and instantly relate it to the sales of VR headsets is insane. It's misinformation, because if the metaverse is going to go, it has to be mass adoption. Mass adoption has to occur for the metaverse to work. How could that be if you have to buy a $300 headset to get involved? Nonsense. It's going to be on phones. It's going to be on phones, guys. It's going to be on computers, so that people in every single corner of the earth can get involved. And it's interesting to note that Europe is not doing well. Europe is not leading the way, I'm ashamed to say, nor is America. It's the Far East and the Middle East that are seeing people, really, really clamoring and showing a massive interest in getting involved in the metaverse.
If I
So,
can add two words
yes,
for
please,
me,
Sylvie. Sorry,
Avi.
everybody.
So,
This is Sylvie at wrong hand. Hi, Sylvie. How are you doing? Please, yes, jump in anytime.
so I think how we're gonna be accessing the metaverse is by this, we just put the glasses like that, and we're not gonna need the computers or phones, because everything is gonna be here. We just put the glasses, and we're gonna have a nice screen in front of us. It's just like the VR glasses right now, but
Yep.
it's gonna be much simplified, and it's gonna be that size, or even maybe smaller size, that we just put the glasses, and we're gonna have this screen here, and we can just go, and with the augmented reality and the mixed reality, we can just jump inside and be the avatars as we are inside the metaverse. But this is my vision, and I think that's how we're gonna be,
I actually think glasses is the way, because I was actually going to say that one of the calls earlier on this week. I do think it'll be glasses. It's the most practical,
It
and it's the
is.
most duplicatable, probably mass producible. And then you'll get obviously people like Apple getting involved at that level, but then there'll be third party companies that'll make them much cheaper and more accessible, because
Like
mass
with
adoption
everything,
is
right?
vital.
Like with everything. Like they do Apple, but then look, Samsung, and it's honestly much better. And you
Yeah,
can do
I
much
can see
more.
what. Yeah, glasses are perfect because you could have a something near your ear, an earpiece, so you can hear, a microphone in the glasses, and yeah, I can well see that actually replacing these. It'll be the next
The
thing.
next level, right? Is gonna be the next step.
Yeah, 100%. But folks, for those of you, we're all about G Meta One is all about educating people, as I said, and there's a lot of people on this call who are on a lot of our calls. We see a lot of wonderful comments coming in from our friends already in our community, but I'm talking to you guys as well who are, maybe seeing this on LinkedIn. I have the facility to go live on LinkedIn, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to do that, because we are seeing a lot of skepticism, and you know that's the same as anything in
It's
its
like with
infancy.
everything, Andy, right? Skepticism
Exactly.
is like with I remember the other day I was seeing a video with Bill Gates, I think, explaining the internet. And it was so many, yeah, like for example, somebody was, so we can watch the football, but is the radio ring the bell? Or we can speak with the friends, but is the phone ringing the bell? Is like, why do we need the internet for? Like for what? And then now look at us now. We cannot live without the internet, right? What is the first thing we go if we move to the house? Like, forget about the mobilias and all of these things. What we need is the internet. So
Exactly. Exactly. And that's it, because of a lot of people during the late 80s, very early 90s, you get company, people probably waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night, go, I need to get on the internet. I gotta get my website set up because everybody's doing it. And at some
exactly.
point in the next few years, might be this year, might be next year, that's going to happen. That is going to happen. And you guys who are listening to this on LinkedIn, whether or not you think that now, you're going to be doing it, because I talked about the early 90s, then suddenly in the kind of 2000s, a lot of people kind of went, oh my God, I've got to be on Facebook. I've got to be on Twitter. I've got to be on Instagram.
Yeah,
And you're going to be doing that all over again.
yeah,
Now, you might
definitely.
not believe that. You probably didn't believe you needed a Facebook page. Why do I need a Facebook page for my business? Bet you have one now.
Yeah. And why do I need a Facebook to speak with my friends? I can just go and meet them in the bar. And now, oh,
Exactly.
I am going and seeing what my friends are doing on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly right. But there's a lot of articles out there, guys. People listening in, please do your research. Just literally, you can go to Google, click the news feed, and put in metaverse, Web3, and see what comes up. But if the articles are talking about virtual reality headsets and predominantly about Meta, I mean, we do news items on these calls all the time, and we show some good ones, and we show some absolutely terrible, poorly thought out, poorly researched, poorly executed journalism from a lot of people. They haven't actually done. We even had CNBC talking about, oh, the metaverse is pretty much, they were saying it's doomed to failure, and all they spoke about was virtual reality headsets. That's
And
very, very,
yesterday we were checking the IE, right?
yeah,
And what they said, you don't need VR to access the internet. Even the AI knows that.
exactly. And it's common sense, but unfortunately, mass media. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but the mainstream media is barking up the wrong tree with this one, and I think but it's possibly because one phrase I used in that article, they love bad news, so they love to put a negative spin on
Because
everything
and
that
the
comes up.
negatives is selling, that's what's selling. Because in the nature of people more often will go to see what's bad happened than what good happened.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why the news are negative. They have to be. They don't have to be. They should not be. But that's how they make money. So that's how it
We
is.
spoke about we had the quote there from the guy who runs Decentraland, and here's a great example. Decentraland, right? A lot of people only heard about the metaverse in autumn, stroke fall, whatever you want to call it, of 2021, because that's when Mark Zuckerberg started talking about Meta. Decentraland, Decentraland started in 2017.
Wow.
2017, they had a presence on phone, and they launched their token. Now the token they launched it at 2 cents. Yeah, 2 cents. It took 4 years and 28 days to hit its all-time high, and that was $5.89.
And
It
it
took
was
four
it was
years.
really really worth wait the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we're talking, a lot of people aren't up to speed, and it's the same with cryptocurrencies, same with Bitcoin. I'm sure if I walk out this door and talk to the first 10 people in the street and ask them, do they know about Bitcoin? Probably only four of them would say yes, if that, maybe not even that.
True,
Regardless of their age, it doesn't
true.
matter. We just assume everybody knows, those of us who are involved. And I say with the metaverse, people don't know. I had my own sister ask me about the metaverse. What is the metaverse? And then she decided to cast negative spins on it and say that, oh, we don't want to live our lives in this virtual world. And it's not about that either, guys. But um, I just said to her, well, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter what you think about it, I'm afraid. It really doesn't. And as you can see from a lot of those articles, industry, all those three factors that I already mentioned are already driving this and make it inevitable. So I genuinely believe that 2023, we're not going to get mass adoption. We're going to get a lot more awareness, and that's going to cause a lot of fear of missing out and people wanting to get. I imagine metaverse, maybe Web3 will be some of the most Googled uh, 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 items this year.
Yes, yeah,
So
friends.
I
Yeah.
definitely do. But it took for Bitcoin to get to that stage. They only did that in 2017. So Bitcoin. It took them about 8 years to be the most Googled subject of the year. That particular year it took them 8 years. So the journalists who trashed the metaverse as a concept and said, "Oh, is it all gone?" Or because they were basing on the thought that it was all going to explode last year, and that's absolutely nonsensical nonsense. But
Of
those of
course.
us who are here now and those of us who are on this call, and if you're interested in finding out more, please go to gmeta.one and get in touch. Wherever you're watching this from, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got YouTube, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Twitch, we've got Discord. We are everywhere. So please, please, please get in touch. We can help you to establish your business in one or more digital universes right now, because we've already built bridges. We've got our own. Go to gmeta.one. You'll see all about our own metaverse. You'll also see a lot of the locations. We've got a headquarters in Decentraland. We've got a gmeta arena in Voxels. Now that arena is actually hosted none other than Wiz Khalifa, and also South by Southwest last year and Miami NFT Week. So we're busy. As well as that, we've got another arena in Somnium Space, and we've got a business hub called G Meta Heights in Voxels. And there, from as little as $50 a month, you can actually rent a premises from us, and we will tailor make it to match your business and what you do. So, guys, we are very hands on. We're not just launching our own digital universe, we're not just launching our own token. We can help you to establish your business. We are looking for businesses, just regular businesses. Doesn't matter what you do, whether you run a bar, whether you offer aesthetics, whether you do makeup, whatever, whether you're an accountant, it doesn't matter. You will, at some point in the next decade, be involved in one or more metaverses. Why not do it right now and set the trend? Set yourself up at the forefront of Web 3.0. Sylvie, do you want to add anything more before we wrap this call?
Well, I think You said it all, Andy. You said it all. I think metaverse presence is gonna be more and more important, not only for businesses, but I think for everyone. Schools and other places that museum, like we see museums, art galleries, lawyers, accountants. Every all the businesses, like we visit the other day, we visit fashion designers, right? I went to Gucci shop, the Dolce Gabbana shop. I went to the party in Paris Hilton mansion. So is what would be how would be possible for me to visit the house of Paris Hilton and party there from Mexico? How would I do that? It's not
Exactly.
possible. But then I went to the virtual world, and here we go. I was in a party in Paris Hilton house.
Let me just share this. Actually, I've got this on here. Actually, I don't even need to. But just before we go, again, because we probably have some new people maybe watching this, I just want to. There's nothing like showing who's doing what to maybe tweak your mind. But look at some of these brands that are involved already in the metaverse. There's obviously a lot of celebrities, but you've got Snoop Dogg's pretty much the king of the metaverse right now. All those sports stars. Look at the fashion brands, guys. There's one missing there, which is Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss joined the metaverse about 2 weeks ago. Food and drink companies, massive, massive names. Starbucks aren't on that list. They joined. Sports brands, all the majors. Financial organizations are tripping over themselves. As I said already, there's a name missing on that. You got JP Morgan, Citibank, HSBC, Morgan Stanley, Standard Chartered, MasterCard, and now Visa. Travel and tourism, all those big airlines, celebrity cruises, who we mentioned, retailers, technology companies. I'm just going to leave you with this next slide. Just really the headline. Why are they getting involved? Well, this is from Citibank. Citibank did a study into the metaverse, and their deduction was that the metaverse economy could be an 8 to 13 trillion dollar addressable market by 2030. 7 years, and that was from Citibank.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave you with that one. Okay, Sylvie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Andy.
We will be back on Monday at exactly the same time. We do a full presentation. So if you are new to this call, please hop over to Facebook or YouTube. This time on Monday, we'll be doing a full presentation.
And tomorrow we don't have a Super Saturday tomorrow.
Oh, Super Saturday tomorrow. Sorry, I forgot. These cities' holidays, you don't know what day it is. Sorry. Super Saturday. We do it tomorrow, exactly the same time. And we will be doing a full presentation. And I'm sure Mr. Salvador, Sylvie's other half, will be doing some giveaways tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, thanks very much for joining us. Have a wonderful remainder of your Friday, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, Andy.
Bye-bye.